So let's review our progress so far. At this stage of the course, you should have both learned about a particular concept and practice applying it. And the three important concepts that we've dealt with so far are, one, the concept of public value and how you might define valuable purposes that you'd like to see in the world and how you could see those realized in changes in the status of individuals and of whole communities and sometimes even of whole societies. Two, you will have practiced developing and testing a public value proposition, an idea about how you might be able to imagine alternative ways in which assets available in a particular situation could be redeployed to produce a more favorable result than the one we were currently observing, and which would represent then an increase in public value being produced. And as you know, we called that a public value proposition, and we described the test of whether you had developed such a thing as getting past the giggle test. Then the third concept that we developed was the concept of the strategic triangle, which we used to diagnose the particular environment within which and on which you were trying to operate, that drew your attention to three different pieces of the environment. The task environment or the value environment in which you were trying to make the changes. The second was the operational environment that consisted of all the activities before that were occurring to try to influence those conditions before you got on the scene with your new value proposition. And then an important newcomer to the conversation, which was the authorizing environment, which was the part of the world that you would, within which you would have to find both the room, and perhaps a sense of urgency, and certainly the resources that you would need to be able to accomplish the goals that you had in mind. So those three concepts should be in your mind and available for your use. The result of using those three things, however, in your particular situation, as you may have discovered through your own reflections, is that typically what you can see is a very large gap between what you'd like to see realized and what's currently available in the environment. And as the British like to say, mind the gap, but here we're interested in minding the gap so that we can actually close it. And closing the gap requires us to take some action. So in this particular Module 4, we take up the question of what particular actions you could take from your particular position to begin closing the gap between the image that you have of what's possible and the reality that you see in front of you.